Is that the smell of Old Spice aftershave, Old Bay crab seasoning, and old sweat socks? Must be time for the Nice Guys on Business podcast. Need an education on how to grow your business? The Nice Guys are here to help. Learn about great customer service, networking, and how just being nice can help you prosper. Now, here are your hosts, Doug Sandler and Strickland Bonner.
Oh, no, look, hey, drinking games we played in college. You did hit one topic.
Oh, shit, I did.
We can cross that one off the list. We only have 37 more topics to talk about today. Hey, Nice Guy community, just in case we've actually started the show, maybe. What the hell? Why not? Fuck it, who cares, right?
Do it.
Welcome back. Hey, Nice Guy community. We were just looking at our long list of topics and realizing that it's one shorter because we did actually mention college drinking games in our last episode yesterday.
I don't even know why I wrote down college drinking games as a topic that we were going to cover, other than thinking I probably could use a drink right about now. That was it.
I don't either. Well, my name is Strickland Bonner on the other side of the microphone, Mr. Doug Sandler. We do need to introduce ourselves because you may be new listeners. It could happen. It could really happen. And if you are, please make sure you subscribe on iTunes. Even if you're already subscribed on Google Play or Stitcher Radio, we really need to get a foothold on iTunes. We love you guys so much, but we need to get better on iTunes.
Yeah, and while you're over there on iTunes, just go ahead and give us a 5-star review.
That'd be good too. We would love that.
You don't have to write it.
Right.
People don't read the words.
No.
We just want the stars.
5 stars. Lots of stars.
When your kids were little, did they ever just participate in something and win a trophy, no matter if they came in last place or not? That's the biggest bunch of bullshit ever.
That crap.
What is that all about?
Everybody gets a trophy. I don't even know. That's not one of your topics. We have enough of your topics to talk about already, don't we?
Well, yeah, we do have a lot of topics, but sometimes I just go where I go.
No, I know, which is fine when we only have like 13 or 14 topics. But since you have 37 today to talk about, maybe we should try and stay a little bit on track.
Is there a divining rod for intelligence? Because it would never point in my direction. Is it divining rod or dividing rod?
It is divining, like it is divine information, divine intervention. I don't know how they actually work. Or
how the hell do how do they work?
I don't think I have heard the word or the idea of a divining rod in probably 20 years.
All right. Well, do you think there's something in new technology that has replaced a divining rod?
Ooh, look at the way you turn that around. Like, I don't know. It depends what kind of divining are we trying to divine. You know what? What's interesting? I think social media has created the divining rod for companies because you can't hide behind bad service anymore, right?
Wow. You are right. Are we going somewhere? Are we going somewhere?
I don't know. I mean, that's like, Yelp, TripAdvisor, and all
Hold on a second. Is Yelp still a thing?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Really?
I think so.
But is Ask Jeeves still a thing?
Not that I know of.
Yahoo?
I mean, it may be out there. Yeah, Yahoo it still exists. I mean, I don't think anybody uses it.
If a search engine exists, but no one uses it, does it actually exist?
Yahoo!
Yeah, really, that's what the echo is. Nobody's responding back to that echo. Right. So aside from Google, what are other search engines?
Well, there's Bing, which is Microsoft's, right? And the reason that has stayed big is because it's Microsoft. And of course, they push it on everything. And Microsoft tries to tack it in with all these, like if you do Java, it's like, hey, would you like to make Bing your default search engine? And of course, it's checked by default.
Right.
But really, other than that, I don't know what else is out there that's big.
What is your, the heck is it called? Your browser choice?
Google. I use Chrome usually. Google Chrome.
I use Chrome too. And what's interesting about it is, I've been so brought up on Apple products. I have Safari. I'm looking at my that thing at the bottom, whatever that's called. What's that called? The docking station. Okay. I'm looking at the docking station at the bottom, and I see Safari is there, but I rarely use it. I really just I don't know. I like the Google products. I don't know why I use Apple so much.
I'm big on Google. I'm a big Google fan. I love Droid stuff. I love, we've talked about it before. I love their business model that they create really cool stuff and give it away for free. I mean, they make money on advertising. That's it. That's how they work.
Yeah.
Look, Google Drive, right? We got a Google Drive and you get 15 gig of free space on your Google Drive. Well, with the Nice Guys, we filled that up, right? So like, hey, buy more space. I'm like, oh God, I'm going to spend some money, right? $2 a month.
Yeah, it's like
for
nothing.
100 gig. I mean, really, 100 gigabytes of storage. I mean, yeah, for a hard drive, that's not huge. But I mean, for just stuff that I'm putting online, like for the Nice Guys, $2 a month. I mean, come on, that's great.
Yeah, that's real. That's like really cheap.
Yeah, I don't think Apple sells anything for $2, do they?
No.
They start at $19.99 for an adapter, right?
I was going to say every one of their and I think they purposely changed the jack at the bottom of the phone so that you have to. What you figure you
do.
But they get you enough for all of the stuff that you're buying from them, and then they got to hit you up with another
problem. No, they don't. In fact, the new iPhone 7, what are they doing? They're getting rid of the headphone jack. Why? Because if you don't have Apple Bluetooth headphones, now you're going to have to go fucking buy them.
Yeah, how does that work with their headphones? So do they have a jack at the bottom of their phone?
My understanding is that the iPhone 7 is not going to have a headphone jack.
So it just is going to have the power jack, and they'll eliminate that at some point because you'll have to set your phone on top of like an antimatter destroyer that will charge the battery.
Well, that's interesting too, because I don't know if are they going to make headphones that plug into the power jack, or is it you have to have Bluetooth headphones? And if it's ones that plug into the power jack, how are you going to charge up and listen to headphones at the same time?
It's kind of like that new iMac that they have out, that they only have one jack in it, and everything, including the power, USB adapter, all the things have to plug. I don't even know how it works.
Really? Is it all just one plug, everything?
Yeah. I mean, I really, you know how I feel about Apple. I love everything that they have that I come in contact with so much better. It's been so much more reliable for me than all of the other non-Apple. Well, I haven't used anything really that's non-Apple technology in years, but when I was using non-Apple technology, it would always fail me.
So, I was looking at reviews. I bought a Ninja blender, right? And I love this blender. It's great. I was looking at reviews on Consumer Reports, and the only one that was rated higher than the Ninja blender was some freaking, I don't know, $500 or whatever. And it was only rated higher because the Ninja blender is made of parts of it are plastic as opposed to glass. And they're like, yeah, it could wear out. The Ninja blender was $44, right? Now, first of all, I've had it about 2 years.
You could buy 10 of them.
Thank you. Hello. Exactly. My answer is if my Ninja blender wears out, I'll fucking buy another one and I'm still $400 ahead of the game. And you know what? That's part of how I feel about Apple. I mean, what did you pay for your Mac? $1,500?
I think that my iMac was like 12 or $1,300. Yeah.
I could get 2 decent PCs for that. So yeah, if my PC were to fail, which by the way, I don't have problems. In fact, in my band, right? I use sequences in my band. I have a Dell PC it's a Core 2 Duo, I think. And I think I got it in 2008.
Yeah.
And it still runs.
Yeah. Yeah, I maybe at some point I'm willing to step outside of the Apple realm, but then again, nothing will communicate with each other.
Yeah, then we'll have nothing to talk about. We won't be able to argue like this.
Well, no, see, it'll be you and me against the world then, and I think really we should have a point counterpoint kind of show here. I think that I like the idea of not agreeing with everything that you say. I don't know, Strick. I don't know. Hey, every once in a while, I will see a Tesla driving down the road. Oh, hold on a second. Can you hold on 1 minute? I'm gonna get Stacey on.
Stacey Sherman alive?
Yeah. She's ready. She'll pick up, and we'll talk about the Tesla with Stacey as well.
I actually got a picture of a car carrier that had like 5 Teslas on it. I'm driving down the road and I see this. I'm like, that is what I want. Like,
were they all the same? All the same vehicle?
All Teslas, all the Model S.
Stacey, are you with us?
I am with you. We're talking fast cars and fast women. What's going on here?
Well, we haven't gotten to the fast women yet until you got.
Well, we have now.
Oh wow! Thanks.
So, Stacey, have you ever? Hi, Stacey. Everybody in the Nice Guy community. This is Stacey Sherman. She's our rock and roll correspondent. Hi, rock and roll lady.
Hi.
How's Detroit?
It's good.
Good.
Stacey, how does Detroit feel about the Tesla vehicle?
It's the motor city, not the electric city.
So, do people tag automatically when a Tesla brake can?
No, because but people don't take them into the city.
Oh, so there's some rules about Tesla then.
Well, yes and no, but because there's a lot of very wealthy people in the Metro Detroit area, so Tesla does have a home because there's all the people that have the money to show off, and they don't really care, but they don't really go into the city that much anyway, so they don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, but let's talk about the practicality of a Tesla for a second. And Stacey, you might be aware of this, and Strick, I know you and I have chatted about this before. If you actually factor in the savings on the gas that you're not buying, even though you're spending, what is it, $75,000 for a Tesla? Is that what they are?
Yeah, 75 to 80 grand, depending on what extras you get.
That's like base model.
Okay, so if you keep the car for 5, 6, 7 years, and I know that a lot of people like to trade in a car after 2 or 3 years. I don't. I'm the kind of guy that likes to drive my car into the ground. But after a certain amount of time, the justification for the cost is there because you've saved that in gas. Is that true?
Well, it depends on what you're comparing to. If your alternative would be, let's say, a $50,000 Lexus. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. I mean, Stacey, I don't know if you know, I've actually got a Ford Focus electric. It's all electric, but it was, it's made in, I don't think it was made in Detroit. I think it was made in Louisiana, actually.
Yeah. And there's a huge market here for the electric cars. And you're starting to see even a lot of the more, forward-thinking communities have the electric outlets for parking meters and stuff like that. So it's not complete. I mean, I was a little bit joking, but because Tesla is such a high-end and well-known. But no, I mean, people drive Chevy Volts all over the place here. So yeah, I mean, there is definitely a market for it.
Yeah, and I have been a Toyota owner for years. I mean, I had a Solara convertible for 11 years. I've had 3 Toyota minivans. I love them, but you know what? They didn't have an electric car, and I really wanted an electric car. So this is my first American car in many, many years, and I've had it for almost a year now. I really like it. I like it a lot. It's well built. It drives great. I'm really happy with it.
I would go the route of an electric car. And again, we've probably chatted about this before. I'd go the route of the electric car if I could actually get the range out of it. I need 200 miles. I can't, because I could possibly drive 200 miles in a day. I can't go with the fact that, what is it? 75? What's the range?
I get about 75 or 80 miles, and that is absolutely the biggest restriction with me. And one thing that, if there was one thing I could change, it would be that. And that has nothing to do with Ford. That's with the Nissan Leaf. The Volt, you've got the gas generator engine, which is cool too.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It flips over.
Right. I really like the Volt, but the Volt was a good $12,000 more than the Focus. And I wasn't, it was out of my price range at that. But my understanding is in the next year or two, they're going to have cars that are under $30,000 or $35,000 that have about a 200-mile range.
I think that's what they're trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
What do you drive, Stacey? What do you have?
I have a 181,000-mile Dodge Durango.
Wow. I didn't know Dodge Durangos went 181,000 miles. That's pretty damn good.
Yeah.
If you had to trade it in right now, what would you go for? Would you stay American?
Possibly. I'm not that entrenched in Detroit that I would have to do that.
And nobody would be tagging your car.
No.
Didn't we have a topic today, Doug?
I don't remember.
We can just talk whatever the fuck we want. We don't care.
I think
am I not supposed to swear anymore?
What?
Why
not?
Would you say that?
Okay. I just wondered because you went shh.
Oh no, that was my laugh. That was my giggle.
Giggle. Believe me, nobody was shushing anything. If you look, our iTunes rating, if you look at it, it looks like a Christmas tree. It started out blank, and then every once in a while there would be a little dot of red.
Oh, right.
And then it's like lit up like a fucking Christmas tree. Yeah, you know what it is? It's a thermometer on a really hot day.
It is.
Stacey, you have been a huge part of our success because, man, you've promoted the show. I was talking to Dr. Karen. She was on a couple of episodes. Was she on yesterday, Strick?
Yeah, yesterday.
Yeah, she was just on yesterday's show. I was talking to Dr. Karen, and she just, very similar to you, just it seems like you girls are always keeping the nice guys in your head, and no matter where you are on social media, you're either dogging us, which is fun, love it, I know that, or you're promoting it, and thank you for that, Stacey.
Well, you're welcome, but we do it with love when we pick on you. So, but it's we're all part of the community, so we have to stick together.
Stacey, how about that cool fucking jumpsuit I was wearing? You like that?
I have to say it was very cool, But whoever said that you looked like you were part of the correction system was the closest, because when you said you felt like you were wearing a flight suit, you've never worn a flight suit, obviously, if that's what you thought. Because you did not look like you were wearing a fucking flight suit.
Strick, what?
I'm wearing my sweet jumpsuit right now.
You are?
Yeah, I am. I got a little stripe down the side. I'm like NASCAR.
Oh, nice.
Shit. Oh,
that is awesome. See, I didn't get one, but I already rocked mine. And that's what was so funny, because you guys were talking about these jumpsuits and on and on and on. I'm like, do you realize you posted a picture of me wearing a jumpsuit and we're prattling on about not knowing about jumpsuits?
Stacey, how tall are you, Stacey?
5'7".
You know what? From sweetjumpsuits.com, I got a bunch for my daughters, right? I got 3 daughters. And I think she sent me like 6, so my daughters would have choices. And the size is a 38 short, which I think would be a perfect fit for you. I'd be happy to take a picture and send you like 1 or 2 of these if you really want to try them, because they're just so retro geeky.
Oh my God. Yeah. I would totally wear it. Yeah, because we should all wear them when we do our meetup as well.
Oh my God, how funny.
How many people laugh at us or think we've escaped from somewhere.
Well, they sent me 3. I got 2 tweed ones and I got a cotton one. And the cotton one is ridiculously, amazingly good.
That's the one that you had on in the picture, right?
Now the tweed one, is it like the houndstooth design?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I got the same thing. And that, man, it just screams 60s. I mean, it's so retro, but it's
I'm thinking without being offensive at all, because I do really like them and I appreciate Susan and her husband sending me the jumpsuits, but I'm just thinking, where can you wear this that you wouldn't feel totally self-conscious? I'm really into the idea of doing it, but my wife isn't going to go anywhere with me, but I want to really try, because my wife is very, very conscious of what people think.
No, I'm with you too. I think they're really goofy and cool, but when I think practically, where would I actually wear this out?
Where would I wear
Other than Halloween, I don't know.
I think their market would be mainly for professionals. You know what I mean? Like the people that need jumpsuits.
Yeah, that's what they do right now. That's their business right now.
Yeah, but like imagine, I have this airbrush business that I own, Strick, at the agency that you might not know. Stacey, you don't know. There's so many things that you might not know about me. So yeah, I own this airbrush.
There are many things I don't care to know about you.
I know. I understand. So I have this airbrush company, and I would think it would be really cool if they got in the jumpsuits, especially the cotton ones, and they just graffitied the crap out of them all.
That'd be pretty cool, actually.
That would be pretty cool.
Huh. Yeah. Well, we'll have to talk to Susan about outfitting my team.
That would actually be a good costume.
That would be like a band outfit. We could be like Kraftwerk 2.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but see, we're coming up with all of these.
Doug has no idea what we're even talking about right now, Strick.
Right, I know.
Yeah.
I warned him before he got on the show
to not go off on tangents.
To talk about no music, and no movies. Okay, keep going.
No, you got to talk about music and you got to talk about movies. Well, have you gone to any concerts in the last? My biggest question for you is, when's the last concert you gone to?
I have not been to a show since. Hang on, let me look at my calendar, because you know how they all run together.
I love that picture that comes up when I have you on Skype. It's just you in your cap with a peace sign.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that was a morning after picture. That was like breakfast, hungover.
Oh, who took the picture, Stacey? Morning after girl.
No, it was my friend that was my wingman for the night. I met her to fill her in on the shenanigans of the night before.
Was that? Did you that night before? Did you have funnel cake, Stacey?
I did not have funnel cake.
Nice Guy community, if you don't know this already, Stacey will accept all packages of funnel cake delivered directly to her home. She is a fan of funnel cake. Stacey is also the one that helped me coin the phrase "funkin' fans," which she is not real happy about.
Yeah, I did not help you coin that phrase. I'm waiting until I get in big trouble when my friends find out that you've commandeered the name of their store for your...
What the fuck? I wrote a book called Nice Guys Finish First. Somebody else wrote a book before me called Nice Guys Finish First. You can't take, did they trademark the funkin'? Is that what happened?
I'm not sure what Adam did.
I'm pretty sure that you can't.
Waffles, come on.
Right. We're not like we're promoting Funkin' Waffles. We're promoting Funkin' Fans.
I know.
You don't think anybody has come up with the Funkin' as the prefix?
Oh, I'm sure they have. I'm sure they have.
Do they have a lot of McMansions in Detroit?
In the subs, yeah. There's a lot of burned out houses in the city.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's different than a McMansion. That's a McFlame. That's a McBroiled. I know in the town that you live in, Strick, because I was not for a while. I was one of your neighbors. Mm-hmm. There's plenty of McMansions. They're crazy. I don't see how anybody would possibly need that much space.
Well, you're in Rockville too. I mean, there are a lot of them there, and I totally agree with you. You know, I've thought about, hey, like, what would I do? Like, if I hit it big, would I buy like a really big house? And I'm like, I don't need more house than I have now. You know, I wouldn't do that.
It's just when you drive by them, you first see that they are like almost on top of each other. Mm-hmm. And they have these houses that are like somewhere between 5 and 7,500 square feet.
What?
They're ridiculous. They have the 3 and the 4 car garages attached to them. And they have the brick front and the siding on the side and the back. I'm like, what? Did you run on a brick? What happened to the rest of your brick, McMahon? Yeah, I don't understand the McMansion philosophy, and they're paying ridiculous amount to, I guess, big money. I don't know how people amass such wealth. I really don't. Frightens me a little bit to think about. Yeah. I wouldn't mind having the money, but I don't think I would put it into something that crazy, that big.
I'm sure some people look at it as an investment because, you know, real estate long term is always good. But I agree. It's not my thing.
Stacey, if you turn on Pandora, what station do you normally head over to?
I have a Goo Goo Dolls station that's kind of like my newer. I know it's not new, but newish. Right. Current hit rock type station. So you'll get, you know, Matchbox 20, Goo Goo Dolls, Collective Soul, that kind of stuff. And I am a child of the 80s. So I have the 80s channel, which is always my first choice.
So would you consider yourself more of a hits and pop girl or an alternative and new age girl?
From the 80s?
No, any of those. Any of them. When you hear something that's
not alternative, I'm not alternative. Okay,
so if you hear something that's popular, are you bopping along with it? Or are you like, fuck that, I'm get rid of that station?
Well, current music that's what's popular now. I don't like it because it's not. Most of it isn't really music, the pop.
I don't know about that one.
You know, it is amazing. There's some song I heard, I think it was from Ariana Grande, actually, because, of course, my girls listen to the top 40 stuff, right? And I can't even remember what song it was, but it's like kind of a slower bluesy, like, I mean, popular in the last 2 months, right? Can't remember the name of it, but I'm thinking to myself, man, this is such a great song, and she has a great voice, but the production is so overdone. Like, I could totally imagine a stripped down version of that with like Melissa Etheridge singing it real bluesy. It would be fucking amazing. And Ariana Grande could pull that off, but she doesn't. Voice. She doesn't. Right. And she hits the notes, right? But I mean, it's just this perfectly produced, like, and it's like, oh, there's just no soul to it. And the song is actually really got a lot of soul, but it's all stripped out in the production.
Yeah, it's funny. I was in a friend of mine's studio like a year ago or so, and I was like, oh, I heard this great song, and we were, it was James Bay's new song at the time, and it was Hold Back the River. And I was like, oh my God, you have to hear this song. It's so good. And it's very overly produced, but it's a very lush sounding song. And Doug, you can just, go get a drink or something when you figure out what we're talking about.
I'll be right back.
Okay. But but he's got that voice, but the production value is really cool. And then I'm like, oh, and then there's this other song I heard, and I was like, you have to listen to this. And it was George Ezra. Mm-hmm. And the guys are like, go back. And they were comparing, and they're like, it's the same guy produced them. And they checked, and it was actually the same guy out of Nashville that produced both of them. And but their ears could hear the similarities in the production.
No, it's amazing nowadays, but I just think they've gone too far. Like, I listen to something like Sarah McLachlan, Fumbling Towards Ecstasy, right? I mean,
the
production on that Pierre, I can't remember what his name is, but man, it's deep and thick and there's all kinds of really weird, cool, subtle shit going on, right? But there's still so much passion. It's so intense and really raw in a lot of ways, where I think in general, especially with the pop music, everybody's gone too far to the slick side and just taken all of the emotion out of it.
Right. Because I think that what you're talking about comes from her as an artist.
Right.
Because she probably wrote a lot of the songs, where most of the artists that you hear today in pop music, they're handed a song and they learn it and that's it. Mm-hmm. They don't have to worry about learning the charts or anything like that because they can't fucking sing a note.
Right.
It's all going to be auto-tuned, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So they just need to learn the lyrics. And I mean, this is my opinion. There are some exceptions, but for the most part, everything on the radio kind of sounds the same.
Stacey, you have this amazing blog, and I would love it if you wrote more. I know you write for your online publication. You do that for Nice Guy Community. If you don't know, Stacey owns a company called RSP Entertainment Marketing. And
holy shit, he got it right.
Yeah, it's because I'm looking at it right now. I figured while you guys were talking, I would go peruse your website and see what I could pull. And I have read your blog many times, and I'm like, you write so well, and you're in so demand by so many of the online publications to go out to the concerts, because not only do you know how to write, but you have the relationships that are out there in the market. And it would just make total sense for you to just own all of that right on your own website. So how come you don't write more?
I don't know.
You just run out of time? I
run out of time, but I mean, now that concert season's over, I will have more time, but I don't know. Sometimes I think people don't want to read what I have to say.
No, totally not right. I would love to read more of what you have to say. And the only thing that I think oftentimes really intimidates people in the writing process, and I know that this is what kind of held me back for a long time in writing, is that I would look at this daunting task of having to write 1,000 words or 1,500 words and put it on my website and then do all the, the marketing of it. And then really about 6 months ago, maybe less, somebody said, you really should just not write less as in frequently, write less as in write less words. Just write a couple of paragraphs. And sometimes that's all you need to really get a hook in somebody. And somebody, my community has grown exponentially ever since I shortened the length of my blogs. And again, I'm looking at some of your posts and I've read some of your articles, and you're a fucking good writer, Stacey. You should spend more time writing.
Thank you.
And I think oftentimes that will translate into, and I know you probably, knowing you and how you handle your business, you probably don't need the business, but you probably would like to have, as we all do, need more clients. And I would just say, oh my God, it would keep you even more relevant than you already are. I mean, you and Strick can talk the fucking talk, of course, when it comes to that. But what do new artists need when they come to you? Are they looking for, what do they generally look for when they're coming to you for some marketing help?
A lot of newer artists that don't have labels or don't have any kind of representation are confused about what PR and marketing is. They think it means I'm going to get their music played on the radio, or that I'm going to get Rolling Stone, which they don't even know what Rolling Stone is, but like Pitchfork to, write an article about them. And that's not the case. You're not the next Ariana Grande. You know what I mean? It doesn't work like that. And radio promotion, which is the people that go out and get your music played on the radio, is a completely separate. I mean, there are people that you pay thousands of dollars and their job is to pitch your music to radio stations.
Right. They're like a publicist.
Well, yeah, but I mean, no, that's what I know. I'm a publicist. I mean, that's what I started out doing. And it's a completely separate job. They're called radio promotions. that's a separate.
Oh, there is somebody that just does radio promotions.
Yes.
And what do you think is the biggest stumbling block between an artist and I know we probably don't have many aspiring musicians in our nice guy community, but I'm just curious as to like what it takes. Like what is normally that thing that they are missing that they just don't get. Not about marketing, but just about the industry in general.
Well, about the industry in general is that it's a lot fucking harder than people think it is. It's a lot more work. I think, but that can translate to, anybody in your community. If they're not willing to look at it as a job. See, one of the things that I always tell people is that it's called the music business, not the music hobby. And if you want to move forward and make this your job in your career, you need to treat it like a job.
So, but did somebody and we'll come back to her again, did somebody like Ariana Grande, did she make it her job to be a promoter, or did she just find the right avenue?
Nickelodeon did that for her.
Yeah. See, she's not a good example, but see, and then there's people that are willing to invest the time and the money into hiring a team or putting the effort into learning what it takes to do the things, the business side of it that they don't understand.
Right. So it's far beyond just like Strick and I know this guy, and Strick, I think you know him. His name is Jono. He plays for,
yeah.
I mean, he's probably, even on stage, probably the best guitar player that I have ever seen. Now, you may disagree. I don't know if you think he's a good guitar player or not. I don't know if you want to voice your opinion here on the show.
It's interesting. I think we may actually stumble on a great business topic here. And we've been talking for like 30 minutes and haven't talked business at all. I think it's so important to know your business now. So first of all, Jono, Stacey, by the way, I've seen hundreds of guitar players more than Doug. And Jono absolutely is about the best guitar player I've ever seen. And I have seen
Are you talking like Eric Johnson good?
Yes, his feel is, I'm going to find some tapes of him and send it to you because he's, oh my God, his note choice and his feel and everything, it's absolutely amazing. But, you got to know your business. I think a better example of how to break into the business and not do it as a hobby. And Stacey, you probably know more about this than me, would be like Taylor Swift, right? People talk about Taylor Swift and they're like, oh yeah, she was like a kid and she just took her songs around to people and they really liked her.
That's
it's like, no,
totally not true. I know her first manager.
Right. Exactly. It's not how it worked. All right. She worked her ass off. She was writing songs from the time she was 12 or 13 years old. And by the way, she's 6 fucking feet tall and beautiful. Okay. That helps. And it sucks that in this business that you have to have that, but you do. And on top of all that, her parents supported her. And I mean, she worked her ass off before she became Taylor Swift.
Yeah. But okay. But does that mean that everybody that works their ass off and is talented and 6 feet tall, does that mean that they all will, somewhere along the way, something about her, just like something about everybody that has struck it good in the music business. You have people that are amazingly talented that just are shitty at building a business, and they just they fall on their ass.
And they do it, but I think people that are shitty at building a business or shitty at dealing with people or building relationships are going to fall on their ass. It's the same. I mean, it kind of boils down to the same thing.
Yeah, of course.
Well, the other thing that's interesting, and again, Stacey, you probably know way more about this than me, so correct me if I'm wrong. I play in a wedding band. I play every weekend, and people are always like, oh, yeah, you should be big. You should make it big. People don't understand that there's at least 3 distinct types of music. There's my music business, which is cover tunes, and it's worlds apart from playing on the radio. But even when you're talking about trying to make it big, you've got the Ariana Grandes, you got the mainstream, you got the pop, where they've got their machine of people and PR people that are helping them. Then there is that in between of, Stacey, I'm going to date both of us here, like Hootie and the Blowfish or like Dave Matthews, right? Hootie and the Blowfish, I mean, they toured up and down the East Coast and lived out of their bus for 10 fucking years before they just happened to hit it big with Cracked Review. And Dave Matthews, I mean, we look at him and he sells out all these summer shows all the time. No, he did the same thing for 10 years, but both of those guys, it was just the grind.
Dave did the college circuit for forever.
Right.
And that's another thing is like the college circuit has money to pay. I mean, universities have, set aside funds that they have for entertainment, or, like for Casey's, in Doug's point, for speakers to come in. And that's how people can survive from job to job to job.
But the thing is, you have to know your business. So when somebody comes up to us, one of my singers, and says, "You're amazing, you should go record an album," they don't understand the business.
Okay. How much do you have? $10,000 so I can get some studio time and write some songs and pay an engineer and then get mastered?
Yeah. And so when, Doug, I don't know if you remember a couple of years ago, I tried to do Howard County Instruments. Like I was looking at what school instrument rental costs when my kids were getting into it, renting a violin and shit. And I found these instruments incredibly cheap. And I'm like, man, this is a great business. Why don't I get into this? And I tried jumping in where say, hey, don't rent your instruments where you're going to end up paying $100 or $150 for 9 months. You can actually own it for $75 or whatever, right? Well, I didn't know the business. I jumped into it and I'm like, man, that's going to be a piece of cake. And I fell flat on my face because I didn't understand the business.
Right.
I didn't know you did that.
There's all different nuances to it. I mean, people, and especially, I don't mean to keep coming back to, the entertainment business, but I mean, that is what I know, but it does translate to any business that you do. But people see just the surface, like the outside.
Right.
And especially in entertainment, because it is such a superficial, what you see is really not what's happening behind the scenes, or, it's a product. And the vast majority of the public has no idea all the wheels and the parts that are turning behind the scenes to make this, what you see at a concert for an hour and a half. Right. And what goes into, I mean, you don't know the crew that drove from wherever for 12 hours and then set up and got there. No, it's crazy. The artist did. Yeah, there's so much that goes into it.
When I was in college in the 80s, I worked on the tech crew at Towson State for a group called The Fix, right? They had like 2 minor hits, right? But Towson, this thing that was probably 10,000 seats or maybe 8,000 seats. So smaller arenas, right? But they came in with 2 tractor trailer trucks. And I thought, oh my God, this is so much gear, right? I mean, any tour nowadays, even if you're like Journey or Styx or Night Ranger,
my God.
The 80s groups, which is not fucking Taylor Swift and Madonna and all that, right? I mean, just the mid-size acts. Stacey, what do they have? 10, 15 trucks now or more?
No, not that many. Well, because you look at those bands, they usually tour together.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So that's why they have so many. So you're looking like if one of those, I would say minimum 4 to 5.
Yeah, and that's for a smaller, relatively small.
2 or 3 buses. Yeah. Because you've got one for the band and 1 or 2 for the crew, depending.
Hey, Strick, when do we get our 18-wheeler to bring our microphone so that we can do the podcast?
our mobile studio, right?
Yeah.
Well, and Stacey, that's the other thing with the business. You think about groups like, let's say, all these 80s groups that are still touring, right? I mean, Styx has not stopped touring, right? I mean, but it's not like they're making money from album sales right now, right? That's a whole nother business model.
Do you make money from the tour?
Oh, that's the only way people make money, because they're not making money through record sales because nobody's buying records. It's all streaming right now. And the laws that are in place, and this, people may have heard, there's all kinds of hullabaloo going on right now about songwriters and artists getting paid for their music because with the downloads, the way the laws are written, they get paid a fraction of what they would normally get paid for, what they used to get paid for actual like record or CD sale.
I wonder if it's less than the 3 cents on the dollar that I get every time a book sells on Amazon.
Yes, it is. It's literally like a 1/100th of a penny.
Oh, geez. I remember when, who's the guy that sings? Oh, Uncle Cracker. Uncle Cracker wasn't he was
here.
He was a DJ. Yeah. He was a DJ first, wasn't he?
Yeah.
I think he was a DJ at some point.
He was.
He was talking about they made the what was the song Follow Me? No, not Follow Me.
Yeah,
Was that was it? They made the song Follow Me, and he said I didn't even get into this business because of the money. And he said, what ended up happening was I came out with this hit that was it. Who sang it first? Dobie
Gray. Drift Away was
Drift Away.
Drift Away. Thank you.
Thank you. Was Dobie Gray, right.
So he says, last quarter, I got a check for $125,000 just from radio play. I mean, the money that they were making.
Well, but that's probably
that was in the old school day. That was well before iTunes and anything else was popular. And it's just amazing where the rich guys are getting richer, and the ones that are the starving artists remain starving artists, and it's really challenging because it is so hard to find your way in there are so many avenues that you have to be not only a good artist and an amazing artist and a great singer and have a good team together. You have to have good management. You have to have good PR. You have to have all of the things that are involved. And you have to make sure that all of that stuff is going down and nobody's stealing your money from you. And as a musician, most musicians just don't have that together.
Right. And that's why they need the team. And that's one of the biggest downfalls that I run into is that people don't think they need a team, or they don't have the money to pay, or they don't want to pay for outside help. And they just think they can do it all themselves, and something suffers. They're either concentrating so hard on keeping their business in line or attempting to do their business that their art suffers.
Well, this show was brought to you by American Bandstand. We appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. I give it an 85. I can dance to it. And it's got a beat.
It's got a beat. We can dance to it.
Yeah.
Stacey, thank you for, again, always being there with the rock and roll. I don't think we ever hit on the topic that we...
I know we didn't, but we did. I mean, it was more businessy than what we thought we were going to talk about.
No, this was good. This was pure. This was spontaneous. And this is exactly why we have you on the show, because Strick and I, we go off in too many tangents. So
I think we did really good.
Yeah.
Oh, the only people that will tell us that are the nice guy community when they go over to iTunes and actually download the freaking show over there.
Nice plug. That was good.
You like that?
Please remember to go to iTunes.
Thank you, Stacey.
Stacey, have you subscribed on iTunes?
I did subscribe on iTunes the very first time Doug asked me to.
Yeah, thank you. We appreciate it.
She gives
it's on auto download.
That's what I'm talking about.
Time, but she really likes us. I know.
I have to go to Detroit and go visit.
Stacey, thank you for your contributions this week. Again, we will be sure to get you on the show again really soon. And Strick, I think we've completely just how far are we into this episode?
42 minutes.
Oh,
that's not bad. That's not bad.
No, we got to wrap it up though. Stacey, all right,
we're done.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Love you,
Thanks,
baby.
Stacey.
Love you too. Thanks, guys. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, Strick.
Knowing your business, I think, is important in any business, because really that musical instrument thing that I got into, I was like, God, this seems so easy. Why isn't somebody else doing it? Well, I figured out why. Because there are connections that you have to have with the schools and the suppliers that I thought I could get these instruments cheap. They were not reliable. It's you got
so many components that are involved. We all get into this process and we think, oh, well, we'll just do that. It's like, the reason, can I tell you honestly, the reason why we haven't yet produced t-shirt number 1? There's so many fucking outlets that you can go. Who's going to do the fulfillment? Or do you want to just make the shirt yourself? Do you want to buy it and ship it, drop ship? Do you want to buy it and store it yourself? What quality of the there are so many choices. And I kept thinking every time I was talking to somebody, the thing that I came back to, Strick, was, we're not in the t-shirt business.
Yeah.
And now that we have like all of the components put together, we have the design, I have the style of the t-shirt that we want. Mm-hmm. Now we just have to pull the trigger on which way are we going to go. We're going to buy them and store them ourselves and ship them ourselves, or are we going to have somebody do them for us? If we have somebody do them for us, then we may as well go into this with the attitude that we're just not going to make any money on them, which is fine.
Right.
But why do it then? If we're going into it for promotional purposes, then let's have at it. Let's put a couple of bucks into it and send the love to everybody that we know. If we're going to do it for profit, then we need to figure out what we're going to do.
Well, why don't we wrap up this episode and we can talk about that offline? I mean, unless you really want to have this discussion online.
No, we don't have to have this discussion online. Are you going to yell at me?
No, I just think people will be bored to hear because the things that you've looked into, you're right, to get a t-shirt printed and have it fulfilled. In other words, we just send basically, if a Funkin' fan goes online and places an order, they will print the shirt, they will hold the inventory, and they will actually ship it. We've decided to charge $25 for a shirt, right?
Right.
And
exactly.
I think you've, through your research, realized that doing all that fulfillment and everything will cost like $23.99 per shirt, right?
Yeah, basically. So you're making like $1 a shirt and with a high quality, nice guy community. Just so you know, it's not for a beefy tee. It's for a tri blend, which are the kind like QBC has, and I think that those are great shirts. I'm wearing mine right now.
I'm wearing my jumpsuit right now. Stripes down the sides, really cool.
And on that note, let's why don't we get out of here? Nice guy community, never underestimate the power of nice. Having our guest and our amazing person Stacey Sherman on the show today. Yesterday, Dr. Karen. Tomorrow, and
Dr. Laura. Dr. Laura. No, not Dr. Laura. Laura Cannon.
Laura was on yesterday.
Yeah.
Gosh, we have a great group of correspondents. Why are they all women?
Have we done all the women so far? We have more.
No, we got Sunny. Sunny's coming on the show tomorrow.
That's crazy.
No, we're going to connect with her in just a few, and we will we'll see you tomorrow. Steve O'Brien, go ahead and take us out of here.
For the nice guys on business, I'm Steve O'Brien. And may the force be with them. They need all the help they can get.